Hello everyone, welcome to Techlandia, our channel's tech show. We'll be starting today out with GPU prices and how things are looking, and they're not looking great. GPU prices took a small dip in the mid-range area a couple weeks ago. I was able to score a 5060 Ti 8GB for a little under $400. And now the best US price according to Tom's Hardware is $429. 5090s are, might as well say, 4,500 bucks. 5080, 1,300 bucks. 5070 Ti, 1,000. 5070 regular, 12GB, which is what I have. I paid $588 for in February. Is now 700 bucks. And these are the best prices. They only go up in price from here. The 40 series is not looking much better, especially considering this last generation. This should not be. I mean, this is RTX 4060 at 530. The original MSR launch price was $299. That's ridiculous. AMD is a little bit better. If you're just looking for pure gaming power, I would go with AMD. The new series, 9000 series, it's going to be cheaper than NVIDIA, obviously. The older 7000 series, still great cards. You can get them a little bit cheaper. Man, Intel, I don't know a whole lot about Intel Arcs. They're apparently good cards. I've never used one, never really researched them, but they're a good cheap alternative. Man, GPUs aren't the only place we're still getting hit. Obviously SSDs and RAM have come down some, but not much, and definitely not anywhere near what they were last year. You might ask, why is all these prices going up? What's the deal here? Well, it would be called data centers, AI data centers. Virginia may be the biggest story right now, with Dominion's fuel costs rising nearly 90% since 2021, while Virginia data center demand is forcing it to buy more electricity from the PJM wholesale market. Regulatory filings say the average residential bill could rise as much as 13%, from $173 to $195 a month, unless some costs are deferred. Regulators and consumer advocates increasingly argue data center load is spreading costs onto the ordinary customers. Dominion and the industry dispute that interpretation. Obviously they would, but it's been pretty obvious if you get a data center in your area, your power bill goes up, probably water bill and all that. It's crazy. The data centers are getting crazy. They need to be paying for their own power, providing all their own stuff. But the U.S. electricity demand is now forecast to break records in both 2026 and 2027. The EIA expects consumption to rise from 4,195 billion kilowatts an hour in 2025 to 4,268 billion kilowatts an hour in 2026 this year, and to 4 trillion, good lord, 4,391 billion kilowatts an hour in 2027. That will be for the entirety of the U.S. AI and crypto data centers specifically identified as major drivers. Well, yeah, that's kind of a duh. The EIA cut is projected 2027 Texas growth from 14% to 6% after Texas paused new data center development on August the 3rd. Data center builders are increasingly saying, screw the grid, we'll make our own power. They probably need to start doing that. But Alpha Commute just signed a deal for Pennsylvania land of 1,800 mineral acres of Marcellus natural gas rights. This includes on-site gas-fired generation and could eventually scale to 1 gigawatt, I believe. That's a pretty dramatic signal the grid interconnection delays are becoming a fundamental constraint on AI expansion, which is a good thing. So basically, AI growth and data center growth is finally getting on everybody's nerves enough that people are taking notice. Uh, that's a good thing. It's a bad thing if you enjoy, I guess, using AI a lot. Um, maybe. I think at the moment we have plenty of ways to use AI. One of the big things is we're in an AI arms race with China. Um, so obviously our government's going to try to win that one. Um, but doing it at the expense of the residential people that's wrong. We shouldn't be doing that. Um, but yeah. It's also screwing us PC builders over because the prices to build a PC have gone insane. Um, Stick around to the end of the video and I will have a build suggestion for those who want to get into the PC party for as little as possible for new products. Still not cheap, but hey. Now back to some more news from NVIDIA. NVIDIA is reportedly building a 1 trillion parameter Nemotron 4. What is Nemotron? Here is what Nemotron is. You can read it for yourself. NVIDIA wants the new open model family to compete with leading open AI models. Training isn't finished and there's no firm launch date, although people working on it reportedly think late fall of 2026 is possible. And it's interesting because NVIDIA is increasingly becoming not just merely the company selling the shovels to these places. It wants a piece of the model layer too. NVIDIA plus and Wall Street are lining up more than $500 billion for AI infrastructure. NVIDIA signed agreements with BlackRock, Blackstone, Goldman Sachs, Apollo, Brookfield, and KKR to create financing platforms for AI compute. NVIDIA could backstop as much as $125 billion itself. Reuters also says combined big tech AI spending is on track to exceed $730 billion this year. That is a crazy number. Very, very crazy. So, is AI infrastructure spending distorting the rest of the tech market? I would say so, yes. I think that's pretty good. Pretty good guess, yes. It is definitely, AI spending is destroyed PC building for us normal people right now. It really sucks. There's talk of AI bubble popping. I mean, there are backers who are getting, I guess, nervous about it. There's a lot of companies that are losing money. I don't have the stats in front of me right now, but I did see on, I believe it was LTV. I think it was the WAN show with Linus Tech Tips, all that. Most AI places are losing billions of dollars. NVIDIA is actually the only place really making any substantial money, and they're making quite a bit. But yeah, the spending of AI data centers and this push to get to, from what I can understand, AGI or Advanced General Intelligence. It's a race with China, from what I understand. It's just getting ridiculous, and it's hurting everybody. It's hurting gamers. It's hurting PC builders. One quick tip or idea of mine, which I'll be doing next year, is if you use AI heavily, video rendering, even your little AI memes or whatever, a local AI in your own home network. It's not going to destroy the data centers, but it will take a partial bit of the demand off. So if you're planning on building a computer, it's not going to be cheap, and if you can run your own AI, run your own personal AI, you can get the models offline and train them. Won't be calling a data center every time you want to make a cat picture. It will, like I said, it's not going to hurt them massively, but it'll take a little bit of our dependency off of them. But that's just my idea for it. Do what you want. Let's see, what else do we have? This shit's getting crazy, guys. Intel just raised $20 billion. Its stock offering was expanded from an originally planned $15 billion. Intel says the capital will help finance manufacturing and advanced packaging as it tries to build its foundry business into a real competitor for TSMC. Intel is also committed to high-volume 14A production in 2028. And if you don't know what wrong one. What the hell is my thing? Guess I didn't have that one up. But TSMC is Taiwan's semiconductor manufacturing company. It's the world's largest contract chip maker, headquartered in Hsinchu, Taiwan, I believe is how it's said. It manufactures microchips for major tech giants like Apple, Nvidia, and Qualcomm. It was founded in 1987. TSMC dominates the global semiconductor market. They build advanced processors used in smartphones, computers, and artificial intelligence. Of course. They hold roughly 70% of the total global semiconductor foundry market, and an even higher share, about 92%, for ultra-advanced chips. They operate strictly as a dedicated foundry. That means it makes chips designed by other companies rather than selling its own branded silicon. They operate major manufacturing facilities in Taiwan, with growing fabrication sites expanding to the United States, Arizona specifically, Japan, and Europe. They're ranked among the most valuable publicly traded corporations globally. They're driven heavily by worldwide demand for artificial intelligence infrastructure. So, I mean, everything's revolving around AI right now, and the data centers, which I think most tech people understand that. What else going on in tech news today? CoreWeave is spending like somebody found the infinite money cheat. It raised expected 2026 capital expenditures to 35 to 39 billion. Its revenue backlog hits 104.2 billion, and it has already booked another 25 plus billion in commitments this quarter. Demand is apparently so heavy that its near-term compute capacity is effectively sold out. Now, what is CoreWeave? It's a specialized cloud computing company that builds data centers, surprise, surprise, packed with high-end NVIDIA graphics cards, graphics faucet, GPUs, and rents out that raw processing power by the hour. It is designed specifically to train and run massive artificial intelligence models. Unlike broad general cloud providers, such as Amazon Web Services or Google Cloud, I personally don't use cloud services, or try not to. That's what a home NAS is for. Excuse me. CoreWeave is built strictly for heavy-duty, high-performance computing tasks. The platform supplies massive clusters of advanced NVIDIA chips used for generative AI, which is that stuff that makes those little kitty pictures y'all like, and the AI slot that some people like, which nothing wrong with. It's just It contributes to the needs of this crap. Uh, it was founded in 2017. The company originally operated as a cryptocurrency miner before pivoting its massive GPU infrastructure into a dedicated cloud service provider when the AI boom took off. Core services or GPU compute, on-demand access to top-tier hardware for model training and inference, has ultra-low latency setups designed to keep thousands of GPUs communicating seamlessly. The high-performance storage systems built to handle massive data loads required by modern machine learning. So that's what CoreWeave is. And apparently they're doing very good, obviously. The AI infrastructure is it's good for the people that aren't the regular people that just want to build a computer. Windows. Apparently Microsoft's August security update landed Tuesday. Independent security researchers tally roughly 400 plus vulnerabilities, what a surprise, including multiple 0 days and one being actively exploited. That's nice. Microsoft itself recommends supported Windows users install the August security update promptly. I mean, you don't have much of a choice, really. Hopefully one day the gaming developers, all of them, will actually start working with Linux and we can pretty much get rid of Windows. Unfortunately, I have to continue using Windows to run a lot of the games that I like. Most games will work with Linux, but not all of them. And some of my favorite ones just don't work with Linux, so I'm still stuck with Windows. And apparently Uber Freight is investigating a cyber attack. Unauthorized access hit part of its systems and repositories. A group called Helix claims it obtained nearly 1 million Uber Freight files. Uber hasn't confirmed that the posted data is authentic. The incident is part of a broader recent extortion campaign hitting major U.S. companies and financial firms. That's always nice. Uber Freight stated the issue was contained and operations faced no disruption. On August 6, 2026, nearly 1 million files claimed stolen. The company's response said it identified, contained, and remediated, with federal law enforcement notified. The operational impact is reportedly as none. Systems remain fully operational. And once again, this is part of a wider wave of extortion and credential access attempts targeting high-profile U.S. businesses and financial institutions. The other prominent firms affected or targeted in the same security landscape include Blackstone, Apollo, Global Management, KKR, and Levi Strauss. And back to TSMC. TSMC and Sony are building a $4.69 billion image sensor venture in Japan, which is part of that extension from earlier we talked about. Sony gets control while TSMC brings its manufacturing tech. Volume production is planned for 2029, primarily targeting next generation smartphone image sensors. Wow. Something to watch for today. Google Pixel 11 launch is August the 12th at 6 p.m. Eastern Time in New York. Google has officially confirmed the Pixel 11 generation and Pixel 1 Watch 5. The event should also bring more Gemini Android AI announcements. So more about AI. And it's not about it getting cheaper on us gamers. So a lot of tech news that's not really great, but it is what it is. See if we have anything else. More news for NVIDIA. NVIDIA is reportedly putting up to $3 billion into Lancium, the power infrastructure company behind the 1,000-acre Stargate campus in Abilene, Texas. The proposed structure starts with $2 billion for roughly 20% of the stake, with another $1 billion potentially tied to milestones such as grid connections. Wall Street is getting nervous about something besides financial risk. Angry neighbors, obviously, which makes sense. Obviously, these places are moving into neighborhoods. I saw a story in Georgia about, I don't know, 2-3 weeks ago, where I believe it was a proposed data center, and Georgia Power, I believe it was, basically trying to take people's land from them. I know there's a thing in the Constitution where I can't remember exactly what it's called, but they can annex your land basically for if they need it for stuff like power now. It's interpreted as power now, I suppose, because I'm pretty sure we didn't have power lines back when the Constitution was written. But yeah, if the government needs to do a project, then they can actually take your land. They have to pay you for it, but that's still, you either take the payout or you lose your land, pretty much. So that's what's going on in Georgia at the moment. I don't have a whole lot of information on it, but you can look it up if you like. But banks are now explicitly evaluating community support before financing projects because local opposition can wreck permitting and construction schedules. Obviously, and they should. Um, there's other places they can go that aren't inhabited. I mean, go out to the Midwest. There's like, pretty sure not a lot of people live out there. Go build stuff there. Goldman Sachs estimates big tech could spend more than $6 trillion on AI build out through 2030. Once again, not good news for gamers and PC builders. At least 75 projects worth about $130 billion face local opposition in Q1 in 2026 alone, which is good. There needs to be opposition because they need to stop going into populated neighborhoods and subsidizing residents for paying their bills, trying to take people's land, all this crap. AI data centers have hit the point where GPUs aren't the main bottleneck anymore. Power, financing, grid capacity, and public tolerance are, which is very good. For years, the industry argument has basically been, don't worry, data centers will pay for the infrastructure they require. Now we're getting real-world cases where regulators are asking whether residential customers are indirectly eating part of that cost anyway. And from a lot of stuff I've seen, yes they are. Like I said, most places where data centers pop up, power bills definitely go up. We discussed that a little bit earlier about in Virginia, the regulatory filings say the average residential bill could rise as much as 13%. So that's directly related to AI data centers. So it's definitely something. These places, AI is nice. I'm a big fan of AI. I know a lot of people oppose it, but a lot of people also use it for AI slop and generating Facebook photos and other social media images and profile pictures and all of that. The filters and stuff that you use, that's AI generated, and they come from these places. I mean, they have to dive up a data center to do all this stuff. That's where I was speaking about building your own personal AI. That computer wouldn't be cheap to do it, but you could do it. I would suggest trying it if you can. But that's pretty much our show for today. We were going to talk about some gaming, but nothing new has come out on NASCAR that really means anything. There was a Q&A thing that I think it was last week or a few days ago that didn't really reveal much. GTA 6 still hasn't really, I mean, it's in pre-order for consoles, but I'm a PC gamer now, so if you're planning on getting it for PC, you're probably going to wait another year at least, probably sometime in fall of 2027, if they keep to how they normally are with the releases. Console comes out, then about a year to a year and a half later, the PC will release. So GTA 6, it looks great. I mean, visually from what they've shown, I don't think we've seen any actual gameplay yet. I think it's all renderings, but it should look great. I'm not I'm not sold on the story. I'll have to see some reviews on it. GTA 5 was a pretty high bar, so I don't know how they're going to beat that. But we'll see how that goes and when it's going to come out. And if you are in the market for building a PC, this is I use my personal account, or my personal, I buy everything from Amazon is what I'm trying to say. Uh, a lot of people don't like Amazon, I've heard. I don't know why, they're good. They got great prices. It goes back to the Tom's Hardware stuff, like GPUs, the low prices. They're probably found through Amazon for new parts. And Amazon, it has good deals, yeah. Uh, probably the best deals you're going to find are going to be on Amazon for new parts, as far as prices go. And if you are looking to build a computer, a budget PC, this is my suggestion for today. A Gigabyte 5 or B550M, uses AMD AM4. Gigabyte makes a good motherboard. It's $70 plus tax. The subtotal for this build would be, $858. You're probably looking a little over $900. That is for the Gigabyte B550MK AMD Ryzen 5 5500. I'm not going to say it's a great or the best CPU by any means, but it's a capable CPU. It's about the cheapest I would go as far as CPUs for gaming. Still a 6-core, 12-thread. I believe is it Zen 4 or Zen 3? Anyway, it comes with a cooler, a Wraith Stealth cooler. It's a good cooler for the CPU. OLOY or OLY or however you say it. Seems to have some pretty good reviews. I personally haven't used them, but it comes with warranties. That's why I suggest buying new. You get 16 gigabytes for $109. It's not a great price by any means. But that would be my recommendation for your RAM for your budget build. King Spec I have used. I've had good luck with them. Don't have anything bad to say about them. In the upcoming build I will be using a King Spec 1TB M.2, but a 2.5 SSD, it's fine. I mean, it's a lot faster than an HDD, a little bit cheaper than an M.2, $130 plus tax. The Corsair RM750E, I love these power supplies. This is probably way more than what you would need for this build, but for that price, I mean, it will last through your upgrades. Also, these parts do leave room for an upgrade to AM4 and DDR4, which is last generations. If you want to build a DDR5 PC right now, it's not going to be cheap at all. The one I'm getting ready to build for the channel here in hopefully by October. I have a few pieces left, but it's coming together. But the great power supplies, it's pretty much what I'll use in everything. I'm a fan of Corsair for power supplies. They're not super cheap, but they're not super expensive either. They're kind of a mid-range on price. Um, they've been reliable for me. Um, for your graphics card, my suggestion would be an RX 7600, 8 GB. It's $300 for 2026 pricing. That's not horrible. It's a pretty good card from what I've seen. I'm more of an Nvidia guy, even though they're kind of butt heads right now. But for pure gaming, unless you just want Nvidia, I would go with this. It's going to get you down to that 300 price tag. I like the Fofkin tower or cases. The first gaming PC I built was in a Fofkin. It wasn't this model, but it's good PC. I personally like the fishbowl design. I like the openness of it. Opens everything up for good aesthetics. You can make it look good. This one comes with three fans pre-installed. So not a bad deal at the price. You can find cheaper if you want. But this is basically my $1,000 budget PC if you want to build one right now. Hopefully I haven't doxed myself on this by showing any of this. Other than this, that's I won't point it. It's okay if you know the city I live in. You don't know what address it is. But yeah, that's my suggestion for a build if you want to build right now. Just to get into it. There is an upgrade path from here, obviously. You can upgrade your RAM, you can upgrade your CPU later. You can always add more storage. This you shouldn't have to upgrade. I mean, I love these things. I use these in everything. You can upgrade your GPU later, and your case should be fine for everything you want to upgrade with it. I don't think you would have to change it out. But yeah. So you're looking at subtotals, 850, 854. You add taxes and everything, you're gonna be right around the $1,000 mark. For 2026, it's not bad. It's a good little gaming PC. I wouldn't go crazy with settings. Definitely be a solid 1080p. Get you a good high refresh rate monitor. I would suggest the 1440p so when you upgrade later you don't have to get another monitor. But 1080p with decent settings for this system, it could probably do 1440p. Might have to do a little lower settings. But that is our show for today. We'll take a look back at this horrible pictures. Just crazy. But man, it's nuts. I'd like to thank everyone for joining us. Hope you enjoyed it. It was a little bit depressing, I guess, but that is what's going on in the tech world right now. Gives you a little bit of an idea of what you can build. There at the end. We'll be doing this maybe a couple times a month, maybe just once a month, just to give everybody an idea of where the tech market's at, if there's any buying pockets. Give a few more suggestions for cheap builds. Maybe some other cheaper stuff will pop up. And yeah, still not great times for the tech world, not great times for the builders. But also, if you don't want to build your own, pre-builts are a very solid option. There are some pre-builts out there that aren't horribly priced. Just check your specs, make sure it's going to do what you want it to do, and yeah, hopefully things will get better, folks. But until then, hope everybody has a great day, evening, night, whenever it is you're watching this. Thank you for coming by. If you did like it, you want to see more, make sure to hit that subscribe and like button. It's free for you and incredibly helpful for us. Helpful for us. If I can talk here. It's very early in the morning for me. But y'all have a great one. We'll see you next time. Bye bye now.